Louis Blériot was determined to fly by any means necessary, so long as it looked strange. He partnered with Gabriel Voisin for a few tandem wing biplanes and tandem oval wing biplanes on floats. Blériot decided he preferred monoplanes, so he and Voisin went their separate ways. Around 1900, canard had a couple of definitions. It could mean an unfounded rumor or a duck. Blériot number 5 looked like a duck. That it could fly was an unfounded rumor. Its rear pusher engine was placed before the rudder, presumably for quicker, more responsive turns. The seat slid back and forth, and the plan was for Blériot to shift his weight back and forth to climb and descend. Imagine doing that in a 300-seat airliner. Ladies and gentlemen, to begin our descent into Kansas City International Airport, please immediately slide your seat forward and wait further instructions. Thank you. On number 5's maiden flight, September 1907, Blériot reached an altitude of 80 feet. Then the engine died. The airplane dived groundward, canard first, and the quick-thinking Blériot leapt behind the seat to level it off. And it worked, kind of. It hit harder than it should have. Hard enough to make it the final flight of Blériot 5. Other Blériots followed, and none had the kind of success that Louis Blériot was searching for. They couldn't turn for shit. But in 1908, Wilbur Wright happened to be touring Europe, trying to interest any government in buying an official Wright flyer, because the United States government didn't seem to want one. During a demonstration in Le Mans, Blériot was blown away by how stable the Wright machine was, how smoothly it turned. So he buttonholed Wilbur, who explained the magic of wing warping. When the wingtip flexes upward, the air pushes the wing down, and voila, the whole airplane turns smoothly around the downward tip. Every time. Blériot incorporated Wright's patented wing warping technology into his latest Blériot 11. He also co-opted the machine's blinkers, those half circles in front. The Wrights originally had nothing up there in the previous models, and the nose always dropped in a turn. After a session with their wind tunnel, Orville came up with the blinker, which used air resistance to keep the nose level. It turned out the Blériot machine didn't need the teardrop-shaped blinker overhead. The fuselage covering was surface enough to keep the nose from slipping. It flew well enough to make it across an English Channel in July of 1909. Blériot put it on display in a London department store, and he ended up selling a few hundred. A Dutchman named Anthony Fokker copied the Blériot 11 just in time for World War I. He called it the Fokker E3. The E stands for Eindecker, or monoplane. Fokker took that Blériot design further than E3's entire fuselage and installing a rather more powerful engine. And not an improvement, but rather an escalation, he added a machine gun. See, early airplanes were barely more than powered kites. A machine gun was too heavy to mount on the wings. The nose could handle the weight, but it would have to fire through the propeller, and sooner or later you're guaranteed to shoot off a blade. Fokker's mechanics found a way around it by fashioning an interrupter gear, this rod that extended into the propeller's arc and prevented the machine gun from firing when the blade was directly in front of the barrel. The German Air Force bought a bunch of Fokker monoplanes and laid waste to British and French forces. Then a Fokker crashed behind the front lines. The Allies copied its interrupter gear, and as these things tend to go, the carnage escalated.